Hello, everyone. After 4 months of combined sabbatical and holiday, I am back and happy to share this first fireside chat of the new year with you. And just to remind everyone, these chats are posted to our YouTube channel at Kincardine United Church, Ontario, every other week, except when I'm on holiday or study leave. You can also access them on our website. Just look for the links. As you may remember, I usually like to start with some humor, or at least the images that I find funny. And today is no exception. This first cartoon tickled my funny bone because I have been finding spiders sheltering in my basement this winter. My daughter Melissa plays the drums, so I get this one. As the son, the brother, and the father of electricians, this photoshopped image made me giggle. And for the forgetful men in every household who never replace the toilet paper roll, now, the first car that I ever purchased was a Volkswagen Beetle. If toy versions hide in your bed, are they called bed bugs? You are likely familiar with this quote from Alexander Pope. Here are some variations on that theme. Yes, I know that was a series of ever more painful puns. However, pain, I would remark, is philosophically just a normal part of life. When we feel pain in life, we look to God to take that pain away. However, as thoughtful writer and theologian Henry Nouwen has written, the mystery of God's love is not that our pain is taken away, but that God first wants to share that pain with us. Out of this divine solidarity comes new life. Nadia Weaver is a radically inclusive Lutheran minister in the United States and has a similar take from a different direction. We want to go to God for answers, but sometimes what we get is God's presence. In that divine and comforting presence, I would add that there is a challenge to each of us that we often fail to face. Faith can move mountains, but don't be surprised if God hands you the shovel. In fact, Jesus taught us, living by example, that love is our job. Jesus challenges us all to engage in the work of wholeness. When we follow the way of love, we have to pick up that proverbial shovel and dig with our neighbors. Let me use the following poem as an example of what I mean. It is written by author and spiritual seeker Chastity Connolly in her book, The Shy Poet from the Flames. She writes, I asked her if she was okay, and she said, I'm fine, I swear. But when I looked in her eyes, I clearly saw her struggles there. She quickly looked away and tried her best to smile. She said softly, I'll make it through this. It's just taking me a while. I knew she was hurting and I knew her pain was deep, but she felt the burden was hers and hers alone to keep. I reached out to her and our hands entwined. And I said, I love you, my friend, so your burdens are also mine. Such loving companionship is a powerful demonstration of self-giving love. Now, think of the benefit and the effect of such mutually shared love and what it has for the giver and for the receiver alike. I want to note that this is not just for couples, but for each person within such caring relationships. How then do we teach this to the generations that follow us? We need to care less about whether our children are academically gifted and more about whether they sit with the lonely kid in the cafeteria. There is a story about an 8-year-old boy who got a confused and envious look from his older brother one day. The younger brother asked their mom if he could have two of everything: two sandwiches, two drinks, two apples, two packages of carrots, and two cookies. Their mom paused, looked at him, and then packed the double portion as he had requested. His older brother wondered what he was up to, but stopped worrying about it as long as his own lunch was made. The Monday of the following week, after a week of doubled lunches, one of the other parents approached the car as their mom dropped her boys off at school. The other parent thanked her so much for sending lunch every day the previous week, so her son could have lunch while she was in the hospital. It had made such a difference to the mom when she was hospitalized to know her son was being looked after. Not only that, but it fostered a relationship that continued beyond that brief week, all because one boy understood how to love. That is the kind of result when we pick up the shovel God hands us as we endeavor to love one another. Mary Oliver wrote this about life: 10 times a day, something happens to me like this, some strengthening throb of amazement, some good, sweet, empathic ping and swell. This is the first, the wildest, and the wisest thing I know, that the soul exists and is built entirely out of attentiveness. When we pay attention to each other, we discover the worth of each person. People grow when they are loved well. If you want to help someone heal, love them without an agenda. Now, let me be clear, this is not easy. However, it is our purpose to follow the way of Jesus. The hardest spiritual work in the world is to love the neighbor as the self, to encounter another human being, not as someone you can use, change, fix, help, save, enroll, convince, or control, but simply as someone who can spring you from the prison of yourself if you will allow it. Notice how different that statement seems from many experiences of church, even our Kincardine United Church. Instead, our churches need to be more like Mr. Rogers and less like Disney. Walt built a fantasy world, but Fred lived in a neighborhood. The late Episcopalian Bishop John Shelby Spong added this: God is not a noun that demands to be defined. God is a verb that invites us to live, to love, and to be. So many of us, especially after 3 years of COVID, despair that the world is less than we want it to be. Leo Bascalia addresses that perception with firm insight. Don't spend your precious time asking, why isn't the world a better place? It will only be time wasted. The question to ask is, how can I make it better? To that, there is an answer. Making the world better through love requires a shift in our perception. Neighbor is not a geographic term. It is a moral concept. Here's another perspective from the first openly gay Episcopalian bishop in the United States. It's funny, isn't it, that you can preach a judgmental and vengeful and angry God and nobody will mind. But if you start preaching a God that is too accepting, too loving, too forgiving, too merciful, too kind, and you are in trouble. Notice that these collected statements are not extolling people like me who work within the church. In fact, I would claim that the church gets it wrong as often as it gets things right. We often get life wrong when we try to control others instead of loving each other. It is essential that we as Christians live into the mutuality of that love relationship. It is risky. It is dangerous. It makes us vulnerable. It's hard work. So let me offer you this video as another example in the midst of the complexities of life and despite the hamster wheel of our thoughts. Life is a dance, but a dance with partners who are our neighbors. Notice in the video that the motions of the two are intertwined in the dance of their gestures as well as through the dance of their words. In addition, the words describe a person needing another's presence, yet unwilling to fully admit their need. This video is, on the whole, about the perseverance of love that weaves us together for the good of each other. In the dance of relationship with all its complexities and all of its pitfalls, that's where we find love. However, it is a dance that gives life to the dancers.
This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. This is the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on song. I am Abigail, and this is Sean, and we're so glad that you've turned this on and welcomed us into your home, and you are welcome into our home. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We're in Sean's parents' house.
My parents' house.
Sean's parents' house. We were in Louisville when the shit hit, and we packed our 3-year-old into a car. We drove kind of far. We drove here, and we've been so lucky and blessed to be safely here. And we thought we'd be here for like 10 days, tops.
What did we know?
What did we know?
What
What did we know? We thought we knew a lot. We thought we knew a lot. Woo! Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. This is a keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. And we've been mostly healthy. We've been okay. Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you okay? I hope your body is whole tonight. And if your heart is breaking, I hope it's breaking open. And if your breath is shaking, I hope it's shaking through. And I hope that you've watched a lot of really great television, like a lot of it. And I hope that you find a hand lotion that actually makes your skin feel better. And I hope that you have enough to eat. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and I hope you have enough good company or enough good memory to last you a long time. Keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going on song. We sing the keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going on. Keep going.
Finally, consider this image. Speaking of needing one another to make the world a better place, These fireside chats would never come together without those making sure the technology is functioning smoothly. Thank you to Mary and John Phillips for recording this chat and for making sure the slides and video will happen at the right time. We had a bit of rust to shake off because it's been 4.5 months since we've last recorded one of these. Thank you to Terry Boyd and David Skinner for uploading these recordings to our YouTube channel so you can find it. All 4 of you are amazing. I want to leave you with the words of an Apache blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain wash away your worries. May the breeze blow new strength into your being. May you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all the days of your life. In that blessing, may you discover the courage, the strength, and the peace through that active loving to which we are all called by the risen Christ. I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Goodbye.